Oh man, won't be quiet. But check it out, yo. Yo. Playing spades, reminiscing on days before niggas started shooting, we would still catch fades. It's like the world's a lot scarier since crack grenades, and the only thing that we became is rats in the maze. Cause all my brother cares about is trapping in J's. Mine's fucked up from the pills and the haze. Pop said we hard-headed, stuck in our ways, so I be praying to the other side of this phase. Yup, all these surprised and always amazed, especially at what's been written radio play. Yo, I wanna be the cataclysm, so cataclysm. I'm take back their lyricism, but no, nowadays it seems like it's bigger than anybody in the industry. No, they ain't fucking with them, and they ain't wanna sign, they wanna be outshine. So I guess it's just me, myself, and all these empty lines. I never knew that being nice would get you penalized. Once you blowing up, they wanna know your penis size. Hoes all staring, saying you got dreamy eyes, and if you ain't fake, they wanna see you demonized. If they dropping gems, then it's slow as El Dorado, a midnight marauder, young desperado with a bravado. That's a hard act to follow. Make your favorite rapper look like amateurs at the Apollo. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Me and my vato steady painting pictures like Picasso. Feds trying to clock us like Pablo and Gustavo. Go and tell straight to the Gestapo. Hola muchacho, yo hablo español. El hombre blanco es el diablo. Now I'm going over heads like a poncho, trying to stack chips with more cheese than some nachos. Why you acting macho? Your whole clique is gato. They ain't want beef, but I'll feel it like a taco. Yo, don't get it twisted like a rasta. Don't be bringing none of that bullshit into mi casa. You ain't seen this much crack since the Contras. Belly of the beast, we all live inside a monster. That's why I be thanking God I'm alive, tapping into different vibes, getting more than described. Every verse an open letter sent to all the tribes. Lost in the ghetto, steady struggling to survive. Yo, the things I seen with a pair of eyes got me out here living in this like desensitized. Part of the reason that I'm hardly if ever surprised. I've heard the screams of brothers and seen mothers that cried. Seen a soul leave a body right before he died. 23 years old, gunned down before his prime. While your favorite rapper only talking dollar signs. But when our people in trouble, they quiet as a mime. Every day is the struggle, I speak it through these lines. That's how I know they can't relate, I speak their daily lives. I'm representing for my nation or the lost tribes. All my people that been locked up ain't see 25. Cause being born a minority was their first crime. They serve and protect, choking your neck, sever your spine. They murder one of us, no guilty verdict when they tried. They wonder why they get no respect and we call them swine. Live in a time where you lose your life and become a vine. Friends turn to t-shirts, corners turn to shrines. And if our leader ain't a Pharisee, then he's a scribe. Cause he ain't coming out unless he thinks he can scrape a dime. Get his name in the paper, face in the lime. The world's black and white and you better pick a side. If I wasn't strong enough, then I would break the sky. Found it right before I lost my mind. Sorry, mama, I promised it wouldn't change me, but I would have went insane had I remained the same me. And I know you feel the same way if they slay me. So when I say the white man is the devil, don't blame me. I'm not here to make friends, kiss babies, shake hands for politics. Yo, what's affecting all the college kids? I mean, why did the students shoot up the colleges? Newborns found in shopping bags and garbages. All these problems that nobody acknowledges. Promise you one thing, you gonna acknowledge this. You know what I mean? Like that.
Any man give his life for Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall up under that UPK banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. It's all about that warfare, boy. Back up, it's all about that warfare, boy. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground. Now this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We will not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type. You got a problem? Tell them cross the fucking line. My niggas ain't polite. Soldiers to the left and right. I die for every man body. Before I be a coward, I'd rather be a dead body. This will be my kingdom when the hour pass. You can either get with it or get flipped like an hourglass. We live by honor and no excuse. Just sit to pray up to the Lord. I told him, then let all the terrorists loose. Hold your tongue or get rebuked, cause you made a truce. But a race that made merchandise, how to buy bills. Scared of who? You got your gun, then pull it. Me and my niggas start to argue, it's about who gon' bite the bullet. It gon' take ground. Opponents better move slow. Attack dog for this truth. Nigga, cool zone. Go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Back up. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Oh, thought you could cross us with no consequence, but you will pay daily. You should've used your common sense. My zeal lit, that means you could never prevail. Hey, with a true sin, hey, with warriors dwell. Be wise with the weapons, cause I promise. My nine just like my wife, she concealed, she modest. I know 2 things, a robber will not prosper. And any man harm me and my aunt gon' meet the doc. Cause this life is warfare, it's not an easy walk. Been watching my people die so you can miss me with that love talk. My UPK soldiers, any man try to cross your path, make him regret it. What that means? Fall on his ass. Comparing me to you really ain't no contest. Long live 1West. Say what? Long live 1West. This for those who thinking we ain't ready for. Tell them back up. I'm about to drop something heavy for. Go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Back up. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down. Take ground. My soldiers take ground till I'm stand down.
Yeah. Okay. Go get her, big stepper, hard body 1West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified 1West hitters, whoa. Go get her, big stepper, hard body 1West rapper. Put on for my king, my niggas. Certified 1West hitters, whoa.
Yo, what you say? No, we don't play you out your mind. Watch what you say, that type of shit could get you lined. And if you search, then let me tell you what you'll find. The city is mine.
Just a mud who became the pick of the litter. Now my name ring bells when you talk heavy hitters. Nice nigga, but don't make me transform like Thriller. Sam Cook a nigga beat like I was born by the river. Go get her, you pistol, you get off of the shitter. Can't put you in the spotlight, you niggas are with her. Keep an eye open round for any nigga that slither. Cause it ain't no sunshine here like Bill Withers. Whoa, fuck you know about this life I live. How you gon' talk to me like I ain't lose no
Yeah, that's the one.
Shalom, shalom, Christ.
Shalom, Lord Christ. We ready, Asha. We ready, brother.
Concert.
Tell him.
Close the door.
Let me know when we live, Asha.
Good to go right now, sir.
All right, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Clap it up. Why Yahweh Shemal Athah by Shem Yahweh Shai. It's Officer 5000 Abraham of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1West, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. I'm just here holding the class down until General Mahayaman takes it. This is the Thursday night scripture breakdown class. You understand? This is where you get your questions answered. You understand the answers that the Christian church won't give blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the answers that, you understand, plague us as a nation. You understand who we are, why we're in this situation that we're in America, why are we the destroyed in America. You understand? How can we get out of this captivity? You understand our heritage, our culture. You understand the history of our people. All the questions that, you know what I'm saying, that black people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians don't get taught coming up here in this hellhole we call America, man. You understand? Any questions anybody have, you can type them in the chat. You understand? Give it up for headquarters, a Shaga Pod. You understand? They holding it down with us. Give it up for Atlanta coming up. You understand? Coming up, rocking it out with us, man. Good to see the brothers here. You understand? We're going to get it rocking. You understand? Anybody got any questions? Any questions in the room before we get this thing jumping? You understand? So everybody must know everything there is about the Bible, every breakdown there is. You understand? On these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? No sweat. Go to give me Psalms 83. Psalms 83.
Salaki,
Put on, you gonna get it for me? Come right here.
Salaki, sir. Salaki, sir, there's questions online if you want.
Oh, okay. Salakia, Shaw. I can't see you now. We trying to work it out, but go ahead with the question.
Question, sir, is a brother wants a breakdown on Zechariah chapter 1, verse 7 through 12. And he wants to know, can this be used? Is this a precept of Satan going to and fro through the earth? And if not, can he get a breakdown?
Okay, Zechariah 1 through 12, all 12 verses.
7 through 12, sir.
7 through 12. Con. If you got it, go ahead and read it. Zechariah 1, verse 7. Start at verse 7. Say again. Yeah, right here.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 1, verse 7. Says, upon the 24th day of the 11th month, which is the month Sabbath, in the second year of Darius, came the word of the Most High unto Zechariah, the son. Oh.
Salakia, Cap. You want to? All right. Okay, go ahead.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 1, verses 7. It says, upon the 4th and 20th day of the 11th month, which is the month Sabbath, in the second year of Darius, came the word of the Most High unto Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo, the prophet, saying, verse 8, I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse, and he stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom, and behind him were there red horses, speckled and white.
That's
Keep going, sir.
yeah. Keep going.
Come. Verse 9. Then said I, O my Lord, what are these? And the angel that talked with me said unto me, I will show thee what these be. Verse 10. And the man that stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, These are they whom the Most High have sent to walk to and fro through the earth.
Okay, I know what this is talking about, Salakia. But before, you know what I'm saying, I give the wrong information. I'm pretty sure I know what this is talking about. But Salakia, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say this question to Shar for the general when he comes in, because I don't want to give the incorrect information. I kind of know where it's going, but I don't quite know all the breakdown for sure. So if we can get another question, we're gonna hold that for the general, okay?
Come, sir.
Salaja, sir, I got a question.
Okay. Wait a minute. Ashar,
Yes, sir.
you got another question online?
Yes, sir. I'm scrolling through it right now to give you another question, sir. If you want to take
Okay.
that first. If you want to take the brother's question first, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, yeah, I'll do that. Go ahead.
Come, I got a question in Isaiah, the third chapter, sir. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 16. I just need a general breakdown on these two Bible Kashar.
Right.
It says, Moreover, the Lord said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Verse 17, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Most High will discover their secret parts.
That's a curse that the Most High, puts on our sisters. You understand? And it said they walking. Read it from the top again.
Come on. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 16. Moreover, the Most High said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty.
Because the daughters of Zion are haughty, man. You understand? They are full of attitude. You know what I'm saying? These people, our sisters, have become, just nasty in this place. Look up the full definition of haughty really quick. You understand? We're gonna get the full definition of haughty, and it's describing, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian women to a T. You understand? Go ahead.
Come on. This is the Google definition of haughty. Arrogantly superior and disdainful.
Now, doesn't that sound just like our sisters? Arrogantly disdainful. You ever come across a sister and you hey sis, how you doing? And she look at you like you immediately want her? Like who are you talking to me for? Why are you looking at me like that? You just say hey to the sister. You know what I'm saying? This is describing a sister that's just arrogantly mean. You understand? Just like our sisters have become here in America, man. We have grown. Our sisters have grown to hate our brothers. You understand? And when anyone tries to talk to them, you ever hear other races talk about our sisters and ask our sisters, well, why you always got an attitude? Our sisters get pegged with the ones that's mean and that's always got an attitude, always mad, always got something smart to say. You understand? Always, quick to try to tell a brother off, put a brother in his place. So they say. Our sisters are very haughty, man. They become prideful in this place, and the disdain that they have for brothers is ridiculous. You understand? And that's the attitude of our sisters. And this scripture is just describing how blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian women have become monsters here in this place. So keep going after haughty.
Come on, sir. It says, and walk with stretched forth necks.
Walk with stretched forth necks, man. You know what I'm saying? That's manifold. It means more than it has multiple meanings. These women walk with stretched forth necks, like they better than everybody else. You understand? Like a sister, Hispanic, Native Indian woman, black woman, you understand, Hispanic woman here in America, they look down on a black man. If you're not rolling up in 20-inch rims and gold chains hanging from everywhere and throwing out money and balling as they say, then a black man is looked down upon. Right. Our sisters, you see it on in social media and everywhere. Now our sisters are going and getting with other races of men because sisters get with white men because they saying it'll raise your credit score. Right. You understand? they get with white with the so-called oppressor because they looking for a better life. They thinking the oppressor because they join themselves to him that he gonna give them a better life, and that's describing the outstretched necks. Like they just walk with their head up in the air and. You understand? How a sister do you here in America, man. Right. Yeah, how they do us out there on the street. You understand? While we trying to tell blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to love one another, that Christ died for them, so we're and telling them that we're the real Jew that the Bible speaks of. Right. You have our women going, I ain't no Jew. They the ones that's giving us flack. They the ones that video with Commander General Yohana. You know what I'm saying? Checking the woman. Saying, the woman is the one that was, trying to come up against him speaking on the street. He was like, where your man at? Right. You understand? Where's your father at? You understand? Told the boy, you know what I'm saying? Go get your father. Well, his mother is, acting a plumb fool, trying to come up against a man, trying to correct a man. That's the woman's attitude here in America. You understand? They already teach you that women mature faster than men. Right. So this scripture is just describing how prideful a sister has become here in America. Our sisters become, man. It's saying that they have a disdain about themselves for brothers. For their own, you understand? And that's a good precept to describe how, you understand, our relationship has been broken down between brothers and sisters here in America, man. America, and we get taught to hate what America hates and love what America loves. Well, America hates the black man. Right. America hates, you understand, brothers trying to change their lives. America hates a brother that's trying to not smoke weed. America hates a brother that's trying to, live a life that's pleasing to the Most High. So what happens? Our sisters bash us. Our sisters come and heckle us on the streets. Our sisters reject us. You understand? But there's coming a time. Go to Isaiah 4:1. You understand?
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 4, verse 1.
This is the time that's coming. Go ahead.
And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man.
In that day, what?
7 women shall take hold of one man.
And it's gonna come a time where the black man is gonna be a prized possession, man. It's happening. It's happening right now. It's happening right now. If just look at the news, just open your eyes up. Watch these brothers. You know what I'm saying? The graduating class of Hebrew Academy under Commander General Yohana, man. These brothers are valuable in here, man. They becoming valuable. They becoming the thing of treasure. And I've seen how, you understand, women turn their necks. They turn and look at brothers in the UPK. Right. We you know what I'm saying? We act different. We move different. You understand? And that's gonna start to just spread like wildfire, man. Where a black man is gonna be looked at as pure gold, man. Seven women. They ain't gonna worry about well, what you doing for her? I know you been with her. You understand? Right. Hey, look, keep going.
Sir. It says, we will eat our own bread and wear our apparel.
It's going to come a time where a woman ain't going to worry about how much a man make. It's not gonna matter how much money a man makes. He ain't gonna have to make six figures. He ain't gonna have to, you understand, be a lawyer or a doctor or some kind of big drug dealer or a rapper for a woman to get with him. You understand? They gonna take care of that. They said they gonna buy their own food.
That's right.
They gonna buy their own clothes.
Right.
Go ahead.
Con. Only let us be called by thy name.
Only that you marry us, man. You understand? Right. Only that you own us. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do, black man, is be with us, and we gonna join ourselves to you, and we ain't no more backbiting and lip dragging and bumping your gums like my grandma say. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no more bumping your gums no more. Ain't no more beating the air. You understand? With your mouth. You understand? A black woman gonna learn how to speak when she needs to speak, how to close her mouth, how to act appropriately, man. You understand? That's what this is talking about. So that answer your question, brother?
Come the water, sir.
All right, Officer Ashaga Pond, you can give the next question.
Yes, sir. The next question is a breakdown of Romans chapter 10, verse 4 through 5.
Romans chapter 10, verse 4 through 5.
I got it.
Yes, sir.
You got it?
Come on. This is the book of Romans chapter 10, verse 4. For Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believeth. Verse 5. For Moses describeth the righteousness which is of the law, that the man which doeth these things shall live by them. Verse 6. But the righteousness which is of faith speaketh on this wise. Say not in thine heart, who shall ascend into heaven?
Now stop right there. Go back up to verse 4. Where it says Christ is the end of the law.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Romans chapter 10, verse 4. For Christ is the end of the law.
Now Christians will use this and say, well, now you don't have to follow the law no more. You don't have to, I can eat pork now. You understand? I can, Christ, it says it right there. Christ is the end of the law. You understand? But this is not what this is talking about, man. You understand? Give me Matthew 5. Give me Matthew 5. We're gonna come back to here, but let's just make sure that everyone knows that this is not talking about that there's an end to the law. You understand? We're gonna get Christ's own words. You understand?
Come on. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
That's what Christ said. Christ said, think not. Don't even put it in your head that I've come to destroy the law. So when this scripture says Christ is the end of the law, we gotta know. You gotta know that there's something deeper than that that this scripture is talking about. You understand? Only in the ISUPK can you get the real truth of these scriptures, man. Right. You go into the Christian church and you'll be eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster and wondering why you got high blood pressure and heart disease. You understand? You'll be wondering why your big toe is hurting you every time you blow on it. You understand? Because you got gout all in your foot and you don't even know why. You sinning, and the Christian church promotes it. The Christian church puts you in the perfect position to sin. You understand? When Christ said, don't even think that he's come to destroy the law. Right. So now, when this scripture is saying Christ is the end of the law, and this is a perfect example of how black people use slang. You understand? When a black man or somebody get into a scuffle and the so-called police need to be called, what's the first thing we say? We're gonna call the law on you. I'm gonna get the law on you. You understand? So when this talking about Christ is the end of the law, meaning ain't nobody gonna have to, come and punish you for the sin that you do, because you're not gonna be sinning. That's right. That's why Christ is the end of the law. Why? Because Christ taught us how to follow the law, man. Right. Christ upped it, man. You understand? Christ taught us how to follow the law, how to be the perfect brother to a brother, how to be the perfect brother to a sister. You understand? How to conduct ourselves like a nation that demands respect, not a nation that's just sitting back destroying one another, man. You understand? Christ is the end of the punishment of the law coming, the law being called, the police being called. You understand? The DEA, what's the other one? The state, the FBI. You understand? Christ is the end of that, man. You go ahead, brother.
That's like back in them days, that's when the priest would come to your house and they find pork in your house, something like that. You get put to death.
That's right. You getting drug out of the house, and you know what I'm saying. You getting dealt with. Christ, because of what Christ came and laid down for us. It's the end of that, man. Right. We don't have to die no more, man. You understand? We don't have to suffer that punishment because we can change. Just like every brother in here, every sister in here, they change their lives. They stop getting high. They stop, you know what I'm saying, running women or sleeping with whores or doing the things that's against the Most High's law. And we started following the law. Right. It ain't hard. You understand? You just gotta fight your demons, but it's not hard to please the Lord. All you do is do what He says do, man. You understand? So when it says Christ is the end of the law, Christ taught us how to follow the Most High's rules and instructions, so we wouldn't be punished for breaking His rules and instructions. Right. So the law wouldn't have to be called on us. That's right. You understand? Keep going.
Come, verse 5. For Moses described the righteousness which is of the law.
Moses described the righteousness. Moses described the law, laid the law down to the children of Israel, and that was right. He told them, he described what right was and what wrong was. You understand? When Moses came down out the mount, they couldn't even look on Moses. He had been enlightened so much, man. That you understand, the Most High's words enlightened Moses so much he had to put a veil over him. You understand? And that's what changed the people. You understand? That's what changed, and the ones that didn't want to get in line, you understand, the earth swallowed them up. What happened to them? They got punished for not wanting to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. So when we suffer the punishments of not following the law, that's what happens.
That's right.
You understand? We become number one in high blood pressure. We become number one in heart disease. We become number one in every STD on the planet. Right. We become, you know what I'm saying, the first ones to get locked up, getting football numbers. That's the first thing. When I was younger, the first time I heard of football numbers, I was like, football numbers, what's that? You understand? It's talking about the 25 years you get for a piece of speck of crack dust that, you know, the so-called oppressor finds on the floor of your car. You understand? When he turning around, when he find the one little baggie of marijuana, what's this? You know you going down. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know you going away for a long time. That's right. 3 times you don't get convicted for the same crime, the same felony. Now you got to do life. You got to do life in prison, man. You understand? Christ came to put an end to that. And Moses described what righteousness was, to put an end to the punishment that we were suffering by the hands of the Most High. Right. Keep going.
Come. It says, for Moses described the righteous which is of the law, that the man which doeth these things shall live by them.
That the man what?
That the man which doeth these things shall live by them.
That the man that followed these laws, that's how that man should live. By those laws, statutes, and commandments. That's right. That's what every man in this room, every sister in this room have dedicated their lives to do. Live by these laws, statutes, and commandments that's found in these scriptures, man. Right. You ain't gonna find it in the Christian church because the Christian church too busy trying to make their pockets fat while they sleeping with your wife, man. You understand? You're not gonna find it out in no other place but the ISUPK because fun grips America. You understand? Fun is more important than righteousness here in America. They just celebrated Mother's Day, a nasty, disgusting day to promote women above everything else. You understand? You got men getting up saying, people getting up saying, well, mother, I thank God for being my mother and my father. So your mama, so your mama was your mama, and she was a man and a woman. No wonder we confused in this place, man. No wonder we transgender and transposed and transfigured. Oh, whatever the hell they want to talk about. Go ahead, brother. Right. They wish they, and then they take the father's the day that's supposed to be for your father, they turn that into Mother's Day too, man. Man, this place is wicked, man.
Right.
This place is wicked. When in all actuality, you should be just, overwhelmed with your father, because you started out in your father.
Right.
You understand? You started out in the sacks of your father. Everybody knows where babies come from, and they don't come from a woman. You understand? That man plants that seed in that woman. That baby grows for 9 months and then is born, man. You understand? We need to stop doing as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in America. America already hates us. So when we turn around and hate ourselves, when we turn around and promote our mothers above our fathers, when we turn around and then, have these special days that puts some of us down and raises some of us up, then, man, it just promotes hate. It just promotes the disdain that women have for men.
Right.
You understand? And it further widens the divide between blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian men and women. And that's exactly what the oppressor wants, man. That's exactly what his goal is. When this oppressor decided to put blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in captivity, the only way he could quorum the revolts is to separate them and divide them. That's a war tactic. It's called divide and conquer, man.
Right.
And we have been divided in America in every which way possible. Right. Women been divided from men, children been divided from parents, husbands been divided from wives, and man, it's disgusting, and it's time for it to change.
That's right.
You understand? Keep going.
Comic-Con, verse 6. But the righteousness which is of faith speaketh on this wise. Say not in thine heart, who shall ascend into heaven?
Meaning the righteousness is like this. Being righteous is like this. We can't say who is going to make it to the end, who's going to heaven, or who's going to be with the Most High. We can't say that. Go ahead.
Comic-Con, sir. That is to bring Christ down from above.
Right. You understand? You can't say who's going to be with the Most High. We just got to wait till Christ comes, man. We got to wait till Christ comes. We got to suffer and endure until the end, man. The race is not given to the swift, nor to the strong, but to the one that endures to the end, man. We got to wait till Christ comes back. You understand? Hopefully that answers that question. What's next, Shaw?
I have a question here, sir, that says, how can I prove that Ruth was an Israelite?
How can you prove that Ruth was an Israelite?
Sir.
Well, first of all, you understand these scriptures ain't gonna give have a whole book written about a heathen. You understand? Ruth got a whole book in the Bible talking about how righteous this sister was, how she stayed loyal to her people. You understand? And also too, there's a scripture saying that she was an Israelite, saying that but then Salakia, when she went back, I tell you what, let's save that for the general too. I ain't gonna get crossed up on my words. But Ruth was not a heathen. Ruth was not of another nation. She was an Israelite. You understand? The land that you're in don't make that does not state your nationality. You understand? Because we here in America, we're not Americans. Everybody knows that black people didn't are not Americans. You understand? Just because you are in a certain land does not mean that you're of those people. You understand? We've been scattered all over through Rome, through all over the four corners of the earth. You understand? But we are the Lord's chosen people. We are the real Jews that the Bible speaks of. So you understand? We'll get those exact scriptures when the general comes in. Next question.
That's it from what I'm seeing, sir. If you want to go into something else.
Okay.
Sister got a question.
Sister got a
Hold on,
question.
sister has a question, sir. Hold on one second.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that years ago, I was going to college, and one day the teacher asked the students to do a PowerPoint slide on their favorite holiday. So I did a slide on the Feast of Weeks or something like that. It was a feast or something. And so
Right.
she came up to me and she asked me, she said, "Are you Jewish? Are you a Jew?" And I said, "No." She says, "Oh, because you didn't pick any of the regular holidays." I said, "No, because I don't like those holidays."
Most
And
High in Christ.
I wasn't even doing anything about it then.
Hmm.
And I knew that those holidays, those high holy days was my days.
And two, sisters, just to piggyback off of what you're saying, which is so righteous. Every holiday here in America is commemorating a victory over our people in some way, somehow. You understand? Most of them are. You
Right.
understand? Thanksgiving is about the victory over the Native Indians. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
I got a precept. If I may.
Go ahead.
Come on, this is a precept. I got Amos chapter 5, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
So like it. Yeah, come on. Amos chapter 5, verse 21. I despise the feast days.
Of course, the Lord's going to hate and despise the feast days of America because most of them talks to them are to honor our death, our conquering, us being conquered as a people, man. You know, the most I hate the feast days of America. It's Thanksgiving. Hates Mother Day.
Right.
Hates Father Day. No, that nasty, disgusting day. The Lord hates that, man. You know what I'm saying? And the sister was right. You understand? We need to teach our kids. You know what I'm saying? When there comes time when we have to do reports and stuff on holidays, put in those holidays of the Most High, man. Put in those high holy days of the Most High. Everybody know that we separate from America, man. We ain't right. The glorification of the death, murder, and conquering. Not definitely. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, brother.
I will not smell in your solitude.
And the Lord ain't smelling that fat back. That Thanksgiving fat back and that Christmas and you know that fourth rib.
Get out. I'll take your questions online and
So like
in the room,
general.
all right?
It's like a general. There seems to be maybe a sound question.
Go ahead.
There seems to be something wrong with your sound. It's coming off very choppy and staticky. There might be something and like laggy.
How about now, Asher? Testing 1 2 test.
It's still coming out robotic and choppy, sir.
They working right now, sir, all right?
Come on, sir.
We get together right now. Right? Questions in the room, just raise your hand. Let me know. All right. Solid, just stand by. What's this here, bro? Oh, is it? Let me see which one it is. It tastes different. It's good though. Well, yeah, I didn't think that. Let me see what that is. It's different, huh? This is good though, bro. I appreciate it. If you don't mind, I might take that frog if you don't mind, okay? Let me give another brother this one right here, okay? For what? I appreciate it. Throw water for the gift too, and throw water for the drink, guy. Oh, throw water. Yes, please. Someone else can have it if they want it. Go ahead. Just put it right in there. Throw water. That's it. Throw water. I appreciate it. I do have it. Throw water. Throw water. Hey, Abraham. Is that tonic diet? Is it? You ain't got a regular one, dude. I might have one in the car. See if someone got me just a straight up tonic water if it's okay. Too water. Too water. It's like sounds like there's no tonic over here, is it, in that car? I got some right here, Abraham. Too water. Too water. Too water. You don't mind? Just you can knock that out and just give me that one if it's okay. Too water. Just stand by, Akim Aguafian. We'll get it in 1 second, all right? Get it in 1 second. All right. I see your text now, you thought, all right? Down, good, brother. Give Atlanta a hand. All right. Asher, can you hear me now?
No concern.
How do I sound?
Swab, sir.
Can I proceed or not?
Yes, sir.
What about the other schools? Do we have any other ones I need to acknowledge or not?
We have Houston, Minneapolis, Chicago.
Give Houston a hand, Minneapolis a hand, Chicago a hand. We hear the captain came up from Atlanta. Give Atlanta a hand. And of course, we're here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Give Charlotte a hand. I appreciate it, boy. Okay, I'll take the sister's question once again. My topic tonight, Lord allow, we'll get into redemption. What redemption actually is, why it's so important, and why without it, we would be owned by someone that would be absolutely terrible to us, all right? We'll go into that. Also, I'll answer your questions. Good to go. Sister in the back in Charlotte, you have a question? Please. Does she need the microphone? Can everyone hear her? Nice and loud, sis. Go ahead.
How does ISUPK differ from Christianity?
Oh, let me count the ways, sister. This is the difference. The Christian church, right, is white supremacy. It's absolutely established for white supremacy, especially the black Christian church. Now, let's say you go to a white Christian church. When you were in the world, did you attend a Christian church? Was it black or white? It was a black Christian church, right? And there are white Christian churches, right? And white Christians are pro-gun. White Christians are pro-war. White Christians believe in what? An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Right. Am I telling you something you don't know about? You grew up down south, so I know you know a white Christian. The Ku Klux Klan, they're what? They're white Christians. The Nazis of 1940s Germany wore the Iron Cross on their uniforms because the Nazis were Christians, right? White Christians absolutely believe in giving no mercy and forgiving nothing. And they believe it's God's will that they should own slaves and possess the land. Now, in the same religion, but in the black part of the Christian church, you think slavery is in the past and no one should bring up slavery. And we're called a hate group for simply remembering slavery, for acknowledging that it even existed. We're called a hate group. We're called a hate group because we remember the crimes that our ancestors suffered. That used to be called history, right? They teach that in school, don't they? Well, I thought history was encouraged. Right? History classes and to learn about your history and American history and World War II history. All history is accepted except for the history of what our oppressor has done to us. Because in actuality, black Christianity is a slave's religion sculpted and created to make slaves more docile and passive. That's one reason. The other things that are different about Christianity and the ISUPK is that the Christian church is run by homosexuals and child molesters. Have you ever heard of the child molesting in the Christian church, sister? You grew up Christian, right? Is this the first time you've ever heard of Christians molesting children? No, of course not. Of course not. You grew up hearing it. Everyone knows about it. Everyone knows what happens on the church retreats. Am I telling you something you don't know about? Of course you know about it. If you were Christian, you definitely know about it, and it's accepted because it's part of black Christianity. Child molestation, sexual deviance, and decadence, right? Drug addiction is part of the black Christian church. It's woven into the fabric of the place. Drug addiction, child molestation, rape, and murder. A Christian has absolutely no discipline because they're taught to have no discipline because slaves are better slaves if they're satisfied on the weekends and working during the week. And lust satisfies you. Lust helps you to get up and go to work on Monday morning because you can get high and have all the sex you want with whatever you want, and then you're passive and you're a sinner, and of course your mind isn't on how you can get out of slavery. Let me give you a few more ways. The doctrine of the Catholic Church is a lie, and the doctrine of the ISUPK is the truth. Jesus Christ is not God. The Christian church says that Jesus Christ is God, right? Did Jesus Christ pray in the Bible, sister? Did he pray? I'm asking you. You've heard about him praying. He was on the cross. What did he say? Oh, Father. He prayed, right? Who was he praying to? Because if he is God, who would he be praying to, right? That's simple enough to understand. When he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, is he talking to himself? Is he telling himself to forgive them? Right? That's something you would tell a slave who lacks understanding and who is ignorant. Right? A slave might think he's talking to himself when he says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. A slave who doesn't know how to read and who only learns from a preacher who's the only one that knows how to read, a slave might think that, but of course in here we're well educated. That's right. You understand. The doctrine is wrong. Mary, the Christians say that Mary did not have sex. That's another lie. Right. Mary had sex, and that sex brought about the greatest man to ever live. That's right. The Christians want you to believe that having sex with your husband makes that child dirty. How do I know? The birth of Jesus Christ, the lie about the birth of Jesus Christ is called the Immaculate Conception. What does immaculate mean? Anyone know? Immaculate means clean. If your house is immaculate, that means that your house is completely clean. Well, if the birth of Jesus Christ without sex is immaculate, then what was your son? What was your son's birth? What was your daughter's birth? That was a filthy child. You're a filthy person who did a filthy thing, and that birth was filthy and disgusting. And of course, that is how you're raised, and that's what you think of yourself. Christianity lowers your self-esteem. Right. It lowers your ability to think. And here's the most destructive thing about the Christian church. The Christian church teaches you to break the commandments of God. Right. They teach you to eat pork, to eat shrimp, to eat crab, to eat lobster. They teach you that being gay is how you were born. They teach you that your flaws and your failings, that God accepts them. And in believing that, you are denying yourself the path to salvation, the path to being free from slavery. God will only save us if we earn it. Otherwise, we're going to die here. Imagine going to court. You in court, right? You get arrested for a crime, right? And you're sitting in front of the judge, and the judge is saying, listen, I'm going to give you probation. Probation is something common to black people, I would assume, down here, as it is where I'm from, right? You understand probation, right? Can you imagine you getting probation, and let's say the judge put you on 5-year probation? That's customary, right? 5 years about. And then someone tells you, nah, break all the crimes, break all the laws you want while you're on probation. Steal, sell drugs, shoot more niggas. Kill people while you're on probation. While you're on probation, don't even show up to court. Don't listen to that judge. That judge knows your heart. That judge will forgive you. Now, you would look at him and go, nigga, you playing with my freedom. Because if I walk into that court, arrested again for the same crime, that judge is going to throw the book at me. Right. Well, you go to a church that teaches you that God, who punished you for sin, encourages you to sin more. Well, what kind of judge would he be? That is the most destructive thing about the Christian church, that they teach you to break the commandments of God. And the only way we are ever going to get out of this hell is through obeying God. That's right. Everybody understands. Come on.
Remember, but you ask, what does the Christian church stop from doing?
Nothing.
That's right.
Nothing. The Christian church stops you from doing nothing at all. But of course, if you go to court, the judge in court, when you're on parole, you can't even associate with people who are criminals. You get that? Like if you go to court and you're hanging around the area where your friends were, you're going back to jail. Now imagine how God is. You come into the truth, you cannot hang around those drug addicts. You can't hang around those gang members. You can't hang around those choir people that you used to hang around. You can't hang around them either. Why? For the same reason the judge doesn't want you hanging with your old friends, because if you hang around them, what's going to happen, sis? You're going to become them. That's right. Give her a hand. All right. Next. Questions in the room? Questions online? I'll take them now.
Consul, I have a question. Question was, how can I prove this from a person in the chat?
Solid.
How can I prove Ruth?
Questions online? I can't see them, so just let me know if somebody has
Consul,
a hand.
the question is, how can General Mahayaman, can you hear me?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
The question online is, how can I prove that Ruth was an Israelite?
What you need is the law of Ruth, them keeping the law of Ruth, the counsel they had about marrying her. You need the fact that she got married to an Israelite. You need when they call Ruth a Moabitish woman. The whole story of Ruth is telling you that she is an Israelite. Ruth was married to a brother who lived in the land of Moab. That fact alone makes people think she's a Moabite, but then of course that would make you British, right? Because here we are living in the land of the British, speaking English. So are we British? No, but we're living in this land that was conquered by the British, and we're speaking their language and following their customs. But we are not British. Well, Ruth was living in the land of Moab, but she was not a Moabite. The real Moabites are the Chinese people. And Ruth was not one of them. How do I know? Because she went back to her land, married Boaz. Boaz went to her nearest kinsman and asked if any of them wanted her first, and then took her and her mother in and made them prosper and come out of their poverty. I don't know if you know this, but you're not allowed to marry a woman of another nation. That's a sin. They married Ruth and didn't do it in secret, didn't do it in sin, but went to her kinsman as the law would dictate, because the law applied to Ruth. Because Ruth was a sister who lived among the Chinese, just like you live among the white people. Anything else? Next question. The ones I just paraphrased, just go to them and read them. They're right there in the book of Ruth. You can't miss them.
Consul, we have a question in the class here.
Go ahead.
The New Testament, where Paul, one of Christ's disciples, said he was a Canaanite.
Forget about it. Yes, that has nothing to do with it. We were scattered, of course, because of Deuteronomy. The Lord said we were scattered among all nations. Ruth was scattered among the Chinese, just like you are scattered among the British and the French and the Germans. All right, next.
Hello.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You got it.
You said the Most High is in heaven, and you said heaven and hell is a state of mind, and I don't understand it.
Well, not a state of mind exactly. Heaven and hell are conditions. Conditions, meaning being poor is hell. Being in prison is hell, right? If you're locked in a cage in prison for 23 hours a day, you're in hell. You're in the hell that you read about in the Bible. You're literally in a cave under the ground. You're in hell if you're in prison. Living in projects, I've been in some projects, I go, this is a cave. This is no different than living in a cave. The projects in New York are. It is just like a cave. The feeling of a cave, cold like a cave. It's a cave, the projects in New York that Commander General Yohana grew up in. Being poor, not having any food, any water, living in a homeless shelter, having rats and roaches running all over your damn face and eating all your food before you can get it. You're in hell. That is biblical hell. When you read about hell and God is saying, if you don't stop, I'm going to burn you in hell. It happened and you're in it. This is it. This is what your grandfathers were worried about. It happened. We're here. Now we're suffering and dying and begging a monster for kindness, begging an animal to be kind to us. You're in hell. Come on.
Wow.
1 second. Go ahead, Al.
I didn't tell that to someone that believes because they have money and they have property that this is hell because they believe. I was having the same conversation the other night with a brother who believed that he was not in hell because he had them.
I understand. Let me tell you, it can be difficult to know you're in hell if you're selfish, right? Your people are in hell. Now, some people have money right now. They don't live in the projects right now. They have wealth right now. So it's harder for them to tell that they're in hell. But there are some good rich people you read about in the Bible, like Joseph of Arimathea, who had money, but he knew his people were in hell. And he went down there and made himself a base with his brothers. And there are so many people like that. Moses was another one who grew up rich in Pharaoh's house, but went down to the street sock to be with his brothers because he knew if his people were suffering, he was suffering. Now, even though it's hard to tell that you're in hell when you're rich, don't worry, because in 1 second you're going to be poor. And then you'll know what it's like, right? I remember when I was a kid, Michael Jackson was one. Michael Jackson just thought he was the sweetest, littlest girl in the world. And he was loved by everybody until he got locked up. Next thing you know, you see Michael Jackson walk into court with the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam. He on the news. This is persecution because I'm black. They treat this as racism. Who else did it? Bill Cosby. Oh, Bill Cosby didn't. He thought he was white until he had sex with all those white girls, drugging them up. And then Bill Cosby came out of court like this. Remember that? Bill Cosby came out of court with his fist in the air. Oh, now he's black. O.J. Simpson. So you see, your friend, he might not know that he's in hell yet, but he will. He will. Don't sweat it. All right. No problem. No sign. It's okay. All right. Don't sweat it. All right. Okay. All right. Anything else, sis? Well, let me count the ways. Okay, let me first start with the brothers, and then I'll tell you how the sisters' responsibility are juxtaposed to the brothers, meaning how they connect. In a short term, the sisters are the support system for everything that the men do in the school. So if you see the men doing a thing, the women are the support system that makes that thing happen. They are our help. You get my point? The Lord said that Adam gave Adam a helpmeet, like unto himself. So there are many things that can help you. This microphone can help me, my phone, my car, a horse or a dog. They can help me. But a woman is a help that's just like you. So she can do the things that you do. And she can help you do the things that God has you doing. And so anything that you see us do, a woman is what helps us to do it. They're the logistical force in the school, right? They help this entire thing happen. If you see brothers out in the street, on the street corner saying the white man's the devil and destroying the Christian church, there are women that feed them so that they can go out and do that house them so they can get up early and go to camp. There are women that make that entire thing happen. This school that you're sitting in, everything we do, if men are doing it, women are helping us do it.
That's right.
Simple enough to understand, right? Come on.
I have a precept.
Please.
Okay, sir.
Please.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 3. The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things. Verse 4, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands,
That's right.
to love their children. Verse 5, to be discreet, chaste.
What the brother is reading is how the older sisters in the school should teach the younger sisters to be. There's a heavy responsibility being a sister in the UPK. It is not like going to church. It is nothing like that. One of the main things that a sister will have to take if she's in the school is criticism. You're going to have to take that. You're going to have to be criticized. You're going to have to know when you're wrong, that you did that wrong. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't dress like that. You shouldn't talk like that. You shouldn't post that on social media. A woman can't be in the UPK without being able to take a checking. That's what we call it for a man. For a woman, it's criticism or to be corrected. Because without that, what good are you to us? What can we do with a woman who's a constant embarrassment, who does nothing at all? If a woman comes into UPK, we got plenty of work for you. Don't worry about it. All right, next. Come on.
It's like this, sir. On the topic of being perfect, there were brothers that I can't remember that were in the Bible that were also that the Most High considered perfect.
Right. Come.
Who were those brothers and why were they considered perfect?
Okay, perfect is keeping the commandments.
Right.
That's perfect. All right. So whenever you read about that in the Old Testament, or his ways were perfect before the Lord, or he was the most upright man on the planet Earth. The Most High is judging his conduct based on the commandments, the rules, and those rules are what make you perfect to God. You get my point. Now, of course, you and I, in times past, we broke every commandment, and we're fighting to achieve perfection now, fighting to keep the commandments of God in their entirety. That's what perfect is, all right? Christ, of course, was perfect because he kept the commandments of God. You know, it's just like anything. If you want to take all of the spooky mysticism off of the Bible, Christ said, when thou prayest, prayest our Father. That's important so that you can understand the relationship between you and God. And before he broke it down like that, people didn't really get how you please God. What was his character? What type of being was he? He is a father. Okay, so if you can understand that, then what makes a son a good son? Your son is a good son if he does what I tell him to do. That's it. It's not a complicated thing. I got a son. I tell him to do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. If he does those things, he's a good son. Now, if he's a son that does not do anything I tell him, but he listens to people outside of the house, he listens to those friends he hangs around with, he listens to these people who he thinks are better than me and better than this house. Oh, he's a terrible son. He got to get out of this house. He can't live in this house because he doesn't obey my rules. You get my point? If you had a son that is out getting high and is out stealing and lying and going to church and being a sodomite, you're going to kick him out of your house, man. What good is he? Well, the Most High will kick you out of his house. I pray you understand that. All right, good to go. Next. Questions online?
Con, sir, can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Con, sir, we had a question.
Who made the food? Who made the food? Issachar in the back. Get Sakawa, give her a hand. The water, sisters. The water for the food, sisters. We appreciate it. All right. Go ahead, Asher.
We had a question from earlier about Zechariah, chapter 1, verse 7 through 12. And the question, sir, was, can this be used as a precept of Satan going to and forth through the earth?
All
and
right,
if not, can you please break it down?
All right, let's hear it.
Come on, it's the book of Zechariah, chapter 1, verse 7. Upon the 24th day of the 11th month, which is the month Sabbath, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of the Most High unto Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo, the prophet, saying, verse 8, I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse, and he stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom, and behind him were their red horses, speckled and white. Verse 9, then said I, O my Lord, what are these? And the angel that talked with me said unto me, I will show thee what these be. Verse 10, and the man that stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, these are they whom the Most High hath sent to walk to and fro through the earth. Verse 11, and they answered the angel of the Lord, and they answered the angel of the Most High that stood among the myrtle trees, and said, we have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitteth still, and is at rest. Verse 12, then the angel of the Most High answered and said, O Lord of hosts, how long wilt thou not have mercy on Jerusalem?
Yeah, this is absolutely a precept for the book of Job, I believe 1 and 7, where Satan, the Most High asked Satan, where comest thou? He said, walking to and fro in the earth. This is absolutely a precept for that, all right? Next. See me one more time. See me one more time, guard, whoever the guard is. Please, come on.
And the king of served over the
Mhm.
Are those the brothers that are going to see the chariots with the Most High, with Christ in the age?
In the kingdom. Say that one more time.
Like, the 144,000.
Right.
Chosen brothers to rule
Right.
in the kingdom of heaven.
The water.
Those are the brothers that are going to get transfigured
The water.
into the chariots.
First.
Right.
That's correct.
And then what about the rest of Israel?
They come after. They get the rest of Israel gets on the chariots as well. Everyone that is going to survive in Israel gets on the chariots. But the 144,000, they get on the chariots first. So that's what the precept says first. 7,000 out of each tribe, which equals to the 144,000, which are the governing class of the nation of Israel, the kingdom of heaven. The same way there are about 670 senators and this many governors and this many blah, blah, blah. That's the ruling class of America, the governors, the senators, the president, his cabinet, right? That's the governing class of this planet, right? The governing class of the kingdom of heaven will be 144,000 men. And they get on the chariots first. Now, but after they're on the chariots and they're in their chambers and they're secure, then the Most High brings up the rest of the 1/3 of Israel. The 144,000 is a number inside the 1/3. Everybody gets that. So 1/3 gets saved. 144,000 of those of that 1/3 are the ruling class of the kingdom of heaven. So everyone gets on the chariots. The ruling class gets on first. All right, come on.
To add on to asking that question, would that be like the officers and captains in the schools?
Lord allow. That's the plan. That is the plan. But we shall see. We need a lot of mercy and a lot of hard work. You understand that? All right, next.
So I have a question online.
Come on.
This is from a sister. She said, Salakia, sir, in the kingdom, will we still be tempted by demons, even though everyone will be following the law?
Okay, in the kingdom, this is the difference between the kingdom and now, right? In the kingdom, evil won't be, you won't be seduced to do an evil thing every day all the time. But evil will be possible in the kingdom of heaven, but evil won't be the common way of life in the kingdom of heaven. So you want to think about a society, like right now we're in a society where you need great discipline to not celebrate Christmas because everyone is doing it. Other side of the room, warriors, this is the side for men right here. Help the young brother out, right? You need great strength, great personal discipline to not smoke weed. I mean, giving up weed, my God, is a terrible thing because every TV show, every song, the government is telling you to get high. So for you not to get high, it requires a lot of strength. But imagine being in a society where it's absolutely discouraged. You get put to death for doing it. No one is promoting it. No one is talking about it like it's a good thing. And so because of that, a righteous way of life is promoted and pushed, right? That's the kingdom of heaven. Now, it of course does not mean that it will be impossible to commit a sin in the kingdom of heaven. But for every sin that is possibly committed in the kingdom of heaven, there will be an angel with a sword to chop your head off when you do it. So the laws will be enforced in the kingdom of heaven, thereby making it very, very difficult to break them. You understand that? The change in the kingdom of heaven is about who's in charge. And that's what you got to think in your mind. It's not magical. It just means a new government is in charge. And when that new government gets in charge, things that were allowed are not allowed anymore. Things that were encouraged are now discouraged. And now life completely changes simply because there's a new person in charge. It changes everything. You understand, Asher?
Oh, yeah, that was a question from online, sir.
No problem. Go ahead. Next.
I have another one, sir. This is from a brother. He said, "Shalom, sir." In Revelations chapter 7, verse 1 through 2, who are the four angels?
Revelation. Let me hear it one more time.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 1. And after these things, I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth.
Okay, I got you now. These four angels are the four angels that are set to allow destruction to consume the earth. So they're holding back the winds, because if they remove their hand, then these strong winds will come and destroy the people on the earth. They're holding back the waters, because if they remove their hand, these waters will come and drown the people on the planet Earth. So they're stopping the destruction that is sitting and eager to come, but the angels are stopping it. So there's death, tremendous death that is not happening, because in the fourth dimension, there's an angel stopping it, standing in front of it. Keep going.
Come. That the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea.
So now this angel is sent by the Most High, and he's in charge of those four angels. He's over them. How do you know he's over them? Because he's rocking a shield. He has the seal of the living power. What's the seal of the living power? The seal of David, the Magun Dawadah. That's what David wore, and that is the symbol for the house of David. And Jesus Christ sits on the throne of his father David. The shield is the symbol of Jesus Christ. It's his family seal. It's quite literally his family seal. So this angel comes rocking a shield, having a shield in his right hand, and he's giving orders to the angels that are stopping the destruction from killing everyone on the planet. Continue.
Verse 3. Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea.
This is how you know he's in charge of them. He's giving them an order. Don't hurt the earth, meaning stop that wind from destroying this planet. When I say the planet, I mean the people who are set to die. Stop that wind. Don't let that wind hurt this earth. Go ahead.
Nor the trees.
Nor the trees. Go ahead.
Till we have sealed the servants of the Most High in their foreheads.
Until we have sealed the servants of God in their foreheads. So he's giving them an order. Do not let that wind loose. Do not destroy. Do not let that destruction strike until we have sealed the servants of God in their forehead. Meaning what? They have orders to stop the destruction until enough of us come into the truth. And that's it. They're waiting for that. And once that happens, once 144,000 are sealed in their foreheads, then those angels are going to get the order to remove their hand. And then death comes, brother. Death comes like you have only had in your nightmares. Everyone understands. All right. Next. Also, if you need more proof the Christian church are a bunch of whores, this scripture says that the Lord is not going to destroy the earth until he has sealed 144,000 of his servants in their forehead. How many Christians are there? 1 billion?
Right.
Am I lowballing that number? Probably. That's probably a low number. There's probably 1 billion Christians are. You telling me out of 1 billion Christians, you ain't got 144,000 that love the Lord? That's what that would mean. That would mean out of, my God, Christian countries on the earth, Africa is a Christian country, a majority Christian country. India is a majority Christian country. Forget about all of Europe. Forget about Indonesia. The whole planet is either Christian or Muslim, right? I mean, how many Christians? Someone Google that. How many Christians are on the planet Earth? Now, the Lord said he was going to hurt this earth if 144,000 got sealed in their forehead, in their mind. Come on.
Approximately 2.38 billion.
There are 2.38 billion Christians. Do you know that according to the Bible, that would mean you don't have 144,000 of them that have the truth, that have the truth in their mind. That's what that would mean. Because if there were, we'd all be dead. Right? We'd all be dead because the wind would come in and kill us all and wipe us all out. But we're here because there are no Christians in the truth. Zero. There are zero Christians that are sealed in their foreheads. We're in the UPK fighting to achieve that number. Fighting to achieve 144,000 faithful men. Ooh, and we working day and night on it. Ooh, we ever. Keep going, Asher.
Sir, I have another question from online. Someone wants a breakdown on Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5, verses 1 through 5. Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5.
I got a question too, right? About a precept. Okay. So, all right. Go ahead, Asher.
Con, it's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5, verse 1. Set thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life. Verse 2. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength, to walk in thy ways of thy heart. Verse 3. And say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride. Verse 4. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me?
I'm missing something. Okay, is there a specific question about this?
They just want to break down the verses 1 through 5, sir.
Okay, give me a 3 first.
Come. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5, verse 3. And say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride. Verse 4.
Go ahead.
Come. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me?
Go ahead.
For the Lord is long suffering. He will in no wise let these go.
Keep going.
Verse 5. Concerning appropriation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin. Keep going, sir.
Keep going.
Come. Verse 6. And say not, his mercy is great.
Keep going.
He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins.
Keep going.
For my mercy, for mercy and wrath come from him.
Skip down to the question. What verse was the question in?
Sir, it's 1 through 5, sir.
No, you said
Just a breakdown, sir. The person just wants a general breakdown.
All right, of 1 through 5, and where did we start at? We started at 1.
Come, sir.
So when I said go up 2 verses, you went. Where'd you go?
3, sir. Start at 1, sir.
Start at 1. Yeah, it's all right.
Come, sir. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5, verse 1. Set thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life.
So now, okay, by me reading down, I just basically broke it down for you. You might have it already. Set thy heart upon thy goods, and say not. Go ahead.
Sluggy, it says, set not thy heart.
I'm sorry.
Set
Read
not.
it one more time, brother.
Come. It says, set not thy heart upon thy goods.
Okay, got you.
And say not, I have enough for my life.
Set not thy heart upon thy goods. What does that mean? We brought it out earlier for the brother's friend who has money, right? Don't set your mind on your wealth and the things you have. Don't have your mind set on that. And this is why. Go ahead. Set not thy heart. Go ahead.
Set not thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life.
And don't say I have enough for my life. Why? Because all of that is going to be taken from you. So you can't look at all your wealth and go, I have enough for my life. I'm good. I'm straight. I got plenty of money today.
Right.
But that is gone. You're an idiot, and idiots always lose money. You're a drug addict and you're stupid, which means that money is disappearing, right? And God is going to be the one to do it. So don't put your mind on your money and think you will always have enough for yourself. You'll always be good. You won't. You won't. You're going to be poor. You're going to be poor. Look at the list of people that hit the lotto and lose everything. That list is ridiculous. I'm talking about, more money than you could imagine. Brother, in a year, they right back in the projects. Right back in the trailer park. Keep going.
Verse 2. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart.
Don't follow your own mind. Don't be an idiot. Don't think that money will save you and all the wealth that you have, you will always have it. Don't think that. Don't follow your own mind. You better always have your mind on pleasing the Most High God. Because if not, he takes away everything you have. Then he takes your life. Continue.
Come on, verse 3. And say not, who shall control me for my works?
You understand? And don't say, who shall control me for my works? Meaning, I've worked so hard, nobody can tell me what to do. That's a big thing, always has been in the UPK. Every few years, some brother steps up and thinks that he doesn't have to follow orders. He doesn't have to do what he's told. You do have to do what you're told.
That's right.
You're going to do just what you're told.
Right.
You're going to do everything that you're told all the time. You're going to obey. You're going to hop on one leg. You're going to run up and down the street. You're going to run from here to there and get that and get this. You're going to obey all kinds of orders, and you're not going to agree with any of them. And no one will ever know. No one will ever know that you didn't agree with it. Right? Don't be the kind of person that thinks, for my works, who can control me? I'm a boss. You're not a boss. I don't know who in the hell is that must be the Christians telling everybody that they're bosses. Everybody's a goddamn boss. Everybody's a boss. You're not a boss. You're not. It would be literally impossible for everyone to be a boss, right?
Right.
Someone would have to work for somebody.
Right.
Right? There's no way everyone could be a boss.
Right.
It's something that Christians tell each other so that you can fester pride in your mind. All right, they're placating to you and hustling you with lies. You're going to obey. Don't ever say you're not going to obey. Don't ever say who can control me. The Most High can control you, brother. And either you can obey these orders from these righteous men, or there'll be other men who you will obey. They're called COs, police. And the COs are going to say, see this red line? Walk on this red line to that water fountain, and walk on this yellow line to the yard, and walk on this line to the child line. And you know what? And you're going to suck your teeth and do it. You're gonna walk a line, like a red line, and turn on the red line, and dare not get off that line. Dare not go to a different line. And when you're on that red line walking it, just think you were in the UPK and you didn't want to follow orders. Now look at you.
Right.
Come on, keep going.
Khan, for the Lord will surely revenge thy pride.
Man,
Verse 4.
You heard that. Go ahead.
Khan, verse 4. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm had happened unto me?
Say not, I have sinned and nothing happened to me. That is Christian doctrine 101.
Right.
Christians believe that because a meteorite doesn't come out of the sky and kill them when they have sex with a child or another man's woman, or eat pork or eat shrimp, they think nothing will happen. That's our oppressor. He's the same way. Our oppressor thinks because he's able to be rich and have Hollywood and NASA and New York and rich cities, he believes that it will always be like that, but it will not. Because justice doesn't happen today, don't think it will never happen. Now, are you going to be dumb like our oppressor? Or will you realize because you're not dead today, because of what you're doing, it doesn't mean you're going to live tomorrow? Everybody understands. Go ahead.
Khan, for the Lord is long-suffering.
He's long-suffering. He's patient. Most High is patient now. He's waiting to kill you. He's thinking about it every day. He can't wait. He's setting it up, brother, like a murder plot. And he's working all kinds of ways at people in your life and some hoe you're going to fall in love with, switching you from this to that. He's getting new people. You're hanging around with new people, aren't you, right? You got a whole new crew of people you're hanging around with, and you're being around them, and you're getting high with them, and they're not so judgmental like we are. Those people on your job, that's how you're going to die. That new crew you hang around with on your mama's block and all your cousins, that's how you're going to die, your cousins. Keep going.
Khan, he will in no wise let these go.
He's not letting it go. He's not. Go ahead.
Verse 5, concerning appropriation. Be not without fear to add sin unto sin.
Appropriation is like acquiring something. Be not, read that one more time.
Come. The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5, verse 5. Concerning appropriation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin.
You better be afraid to add sin to sin. To do a sin, to do another sin. To add sin to sin. Be afraid of doing that. Be careful and make sure you don't do that. Continue.
Come, verse 6. And say not, his mercy is great.
Don't ever say his mercy is great. Who says that? Christians. God is good. God, I'm a sinner and God blesses me even though I'm a sinner. God is good all the time. Oh, you so nasty. What is it? Well, here's more. Let me give you a more accurate phrase. God is good today. Right there. Ooh, he can be terrible later, though. He can be absolutely terrible when you're struggling to breathe from the COVID-19. That same good all the time God, he is there in the hospital when you can't breathe. He's there as they're saying, we got to put you on the ventilator. God is there. He's right there, brother. A million deaths of COVID. Well, that good God, he's there. He's there. God is good to you. God is not killing you today. That's true. But please don't be fooled. He's waiting and planning your death. Come on. Go ahead, Up. See me one more time, please, Up. Do up. I don't know if they can hear you. That's a perfect precept. Tell them where it is again. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, perfect precept for this. Go ahead, Up.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Justice delayed won't be denied, brother. You're going to get justice. Don't worry. You're just going to wait a little while. That's all. You'll wait to make it that much sweeter. Right? Anything else? That's it, right? Asher, next.
So we have a question in the room.
Go ahead.
In Revelations 11 and 4, right? I just want to confirm, right? The two olive trees and the candlesticks, those are the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, sir, right?
That's correct.
Sir. And when it says before the God of the earth, standing before the God of the earth, that's talking about the Most High, sir, right?
That's correct.
Okay, sir. I was also trying to find out that scripture where it said the land of Israel is cursed until we return. I know that scripture where it says the land of Israel is cursed until we return, something like that. Or when the heathens have the land and live in the land, that the land is cursed with like.
Okay, you might mean a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, or you might mean cursed is the ground for thy sake with Cain. And the ground shall not give forth her strength.
Sir. That might be it.
That sounds right. That's in Genesis. You know that.
Sir. Also along with that curse there, right? Does the certain of the lands up north, like Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, being that those lands are dry, right? Does that make it? I don't want to say that that makes it our land, but I was trying to find out if that's part of the homeland too.
I'm listening to what you're saying. Say it one more time.
Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan are lands.
I'm not sure. You got to look at the map for that. I know the whole Middle East is the land of Israel. But now that particular country, you got to just look at it and look at a map of an ancient map of Israel and see if Uzbekistan is in that land. I don't recall off the top of my head.
No sweat, sir.
All right.
Water, sir.
No sweat. Next. Any questions online? Chicago questions? Houston questions?
I have a question. Chicago actually has a question, sir.
Go ahead, Chicago.
Shalom, shalom, y'all, but All right, Salakia, sir. I want to know if if James chapter 5, verse 10 through 11 could possibly be a precept for Matthew 10 and 22, as far as it goes, like with brothers in the truth, when we go through hard times and practicing that patience and long suffering.
Okay, let's hear it.
Khan. Well, the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 22, it says, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved." And then
you're asking, is that a precept for what again?
No, I'm asking if James 5 and 10 through 11 is a precept to Matthew.
Okay, let me hear the other one.
All right, this is the book of James, chapter 5, verse 10. "Take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience." Verse 11, "Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and tender and of tender mercy."
So you're saying these are precepts about brothers in the truth, about persecution, and about enduring it. Is that what you mean?
Khan, I want to know if James is a good precept for
absolutely.
Matthew.
Absolutely, yes, it is. All right.
Khan, throughout it, sir.
No problem. Next.
Minnesota has some questions, sir.
Minnesota, you got it.
Shalom, Christ, sir. Can you hear me?
Hear you fine.
Come, sir. So like a sister in the school had a question. She's a little shy right now, but if I may, she had a question about precepts on voodoo and magic being a sin.
I'm sorry, she had a question about what?
Say it again. Voodoo and magic being a sin.
I didn't hear what he said. Okay, she's asking is voodoo and magic a sin?
Right, come, sir. Can you hear me now?
I got you. Okay, you want to break down on that?
Yeah, come. Just a few.
Give me the witchcraft scriptures. Absolutely, voodoo and magic are sins, right? And this is why, because voodoo and magic are lies and false, and they're hustles. They don't work. The reason that the Most High outlawed voodoo and magic is because voodoo and magic is fake. And the Most High is outlawing hustlers who are hustling and lying and scamming people out of their money. Voodoo does not work, everybody. It's not real. You got to grow up. Sooner or later, you got to grow up, man. Magic is not real, everybody. Okay? It is not real. That card, he really made, that card didn't disappear. That rabbit was not in that hat. You're stupid and you're fooled by hustlers and people that scam you out of money. And the Most High has always outlawed these people who will scam simple folk out of their money, believing that they have some supernatural power. And they don't. Magic is not real at all. Voodoo is not real at all. Here's real voodoo. Poisoning somebody. That's what real voodoo is. When the Haitians and Dominicans would just poison the children of the slave master. And then when the baby died, they would go, "It's magic. Magic killed the baby." Arsenic, rat poison killed the baby. But once the baby is dead, they go, "Oh, it's Shango magic. Shango magic killed that baby." It was rat poison. They put rat poison in the bottles. And they killed the French and killed the Dutch and killed their children and then gave the credit to Shango when it's not real. Give me any witchcraft precept that you have. Just pull it up for the brother, all right?
If I may, sir.
Go ahead, up.
Come on, so if I may, I don't want what you're saying is so heavy because in doing a research on the Haitian Revolution, I came up across French records when a a man by the name of Macandal. He was poisoning the Frenchman, and he was arrested for conspiracy of poisoning. There was nothing about voodoo. But later on in the 19th century, they started making all these books about the Haitian doing voodoo to get out of slavery. But when you go in the actual records that the French have, you don't see none of these, voodoo records. All you see is conspiracy. He was trying to poison the French, and he got arrested, and they murdered him for it.
That's it. Voodoo is poisoning somebody. That's what zombies are. Those zombies are people that they slip drugs into their drinks, and they go berserk and they walking around the town. Zombies. Because they slipped something in their goddamn food or in their water, in their drink, and now they're brain dead walking around drooling. Magic is not real. The horoscope is fake. The horoscope is not real, you stupid bitch. It's so frustrating in that. What's wrong with you? Do you think that the newspaper, that's too old. What do y'all have now? Do you think that, okay, can I say newspaper? How do they see the horoscope now? How do people see the horoscope?
They got the apps on their phone, sir.
Okay, do you think that app on your phone has a key to a supernatural power to the stars? You know what that would mean? That would mean that whoever is putting that in your phone has a key and a connection to a supernatural intergalactical power in the constellations. And remember, horoscopes used to just be on the paper. You buy a paper, there it is. So you think the writer, the person who's putting it in the paper, is what? Some type of master wizard, Gandalf? It's fake. The entire thing is fake. It's not real. The one in the scriptures with Saul, she was another phony and fake. And the Most High outlawed that hustling and scheming because it's cruel. It's a cruel thing. A lot of you sisters out there, you all mixed up in your mind. Some of you got people who died. Your mother died or your grandmother. And these hustlers will hustle you out of every penny you have because you want to talk to your grandmother. You want to talk to your father. Now, what made everyone so susceptible to being hustled by witchcraft? Christianity. Because Christianity and witchcraft are the exact same hustle. It's stagecraft. You understand? It's stagecraft. It's like doing a big flowers and lights and this happened when really nothing happened. Somebody in here has the letter J. So God, hold up. God is telling me something. Hold on. Who in here? John. Raise your hand if you know somebody with John. Literally raise your hand. Who in here knows somebody with John? Knows a John. A J. Whoa. John, you sister, you John. Okay, this is what they do. They go look up and see what the most popular male names are, and the most popular male names are John. Right. And then they go, is it a J? Is it a J? And if it ain't John, if it's not, and nobody, let's say no one raised their hand for John. Not John. Okay, then Dave, Peter. Peter. Okay, he's here. He's in the room right now. Now, who else does that? God is showing me something. Hallelujah. Is there someone in here with a bad hip? Hold up. God is showing me somebody has bad knees in here. Hold up. Raise your hand if you got bad knees. Raise your hand. Oh. Everybody got bad knees. Bad knees. I'm not trying to hate you because you're dumb. Because Commander General Yohana don't let me hate people because they're dumb. Otherwise, that'll just be what I did all day. Okay, but you are in the UPK, and the Lord says he will teach subtlety to the simple. And Christians are doing stagecraft to make you think that a very common and everyday thing is supernatural. And magicians and witchcraft artists are doing the same thing. Palm readers, tarot card, tea leaf reader, all of that is just hustling the simple, and the sad. In the back. Go ahead, brother. Oh, I'll forget. That's another one. That's another seduction. That's more witchcraft. Come on in the back. Say again out. Chakras in the Kundalini. Yeah, that too. Yeah. All of it. Go ahead, Al.
This is Galatians 5:20 and 21. Idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies. Verse 21, envyings, murder, drunkenness, reveling, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God.
That's it. Witchcraft is fake and false, and it's unlawful to do it. And every Christian church service is witchcraft. Faith healing is witchcraft. A faith healer, that's witchcraft. It's no different than any magic show. It's distraction. It's a part where they distract you and make you look away and do this to you and do that to you. It's stagecraft. It's a performance that makes you think something supernatural is happening. And once your emotions get involved, you will feel something, just like gospel music. You're going to feel something, and you will interpret that feeling to be God, and it is not. Come on. Oh my God, that's another thing. All of that is for that feeling of you halfway drowned, come up, water all over you, and you feel like something has happened. Nothing has happened. Nothing at all. All right, good to go. Come on. That's the one. Yeah, Deuteronomy 18:10. That's what you need, Minnesota. Deuteronomy 18:10 to talk about witchcraft, astrology. I guess people still doing that. I've never heard of it much anymore like we used to back in the day. But I assume women out there still believe in astrology and all that and into all that stuff, you know. And that's that. You know, just mainly just worried about your man cheating on you. And of course he's cheating on you. And you think she's a magician because she says your man is cheating on you. Everybody on his job knows he's cheating on you. All right, next. Go ahead. Next online, Asher.
I have a question in the room, sir.
If I may add one, I wanted a breakdown of Philippians chapter 1, verse 21 to 26. Baba Kasha, add one.
Go ahead.
Philippians chapter 1, verse 21. For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain.
Okay, you want to break down on that, you're saying?
Turn the following verses.
Okay, wait 1 second. Let me give you this video about Benny Hinn. Somebody went and taped Benny. You know who Benny Hinn is, right? I didn't know that. Okay, hold on. Somebody went and exposed how he does all that nonsense he does. Oh, it was so funny. Someone find it on your phone. Benny Hinn exposed. They got a recording. They went and got a radio transmitter. You know, Benny Hinn, okay, when you walk into the church, he makes you fill out a card with your name and your reason for there, why you're there, and your ailment. And then he has an earpiece in his ear. And his wife is in the earpiece saying, Jocelyn Smith. She's in the 5th row, and she has kidney disease. Jocelyn Smith, are you out there? God is showing me something. Hold up. It's your kidneys, isn't it? Yes, it's my kidney. And they got it on tape where some cat went in there and brung a radio receiver. And he has the recording of his wife telling him who the people are. Pull it up on your phones and let's get it up on the screen right here, right? It's easy to find. Benny Hinn being exposed, faith healer exposed, all right? And I'm almost positive, no, it's not Benny Hinn, it's that other Edomite. It's some old black-haired Edomite, the one that sells the holy water. He's the one that sell all the water and to sell the rags.
Peter Popoff?
Peter Popoff is him. Peter Popoff, I believe. But you can find him, and Benny Hinn is on there for something. Everybody's on there. They call them all the cats who you think are men of God. What's your question? Where are we at now?
Go, Slucky, sir.
Go ahead.
There was Officer Hazard, sir. There was also a documentary where Benny Hinn was he had a bad conscience for robbing people. Then he was talking about he don't want to do this anymore on video, and then he was falling low on money, and then he started doing it again.
That's good. That's good video too.
Since the COVID-19.
Yeah. Give me the Peter Popoff first, and we'll put it up on the screen. All right. Who had the question about something?
Come on, sir. That was Philippians chapter 1, verse 21.
Go to 19.
Come on. Philippians 1 and 19. For I know that this shall turn to my salvation through your prayer and the supply of the spirit of Yahushua, Mashiach.
Go ahead.
Verse 20. According to my earnest expectation and my hope, that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all my boldness, but that with all boldness, as always, so now also Christ shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death.
Keep going.
Verse 21. For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain.
Keep going.
22. But if I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor. Yet what shall I choose? I want not.
Keep
23.
going.
For I am in a strait betwixt two, having a desire to depart and to be with Christ, which is far better.
Which is all what?
Far better.
Keep going.
24. Nevertheless, to abide in the flesh is more needful for you. 20.
This is jogging my memory about something else, Levi. This is jogging my head. I broke this down to someone. I'm missing one part of it. Read a little more.
Come, verse 25. And having this confidence, I know that I shall abide and continue with you all for your furtherance and joy of faith.
Hey, Houston, was Houston out there? Yatazak, you in there? You don't see him, do you?
Houston is in here, but not Cap.
Okay, I broke this down to him recently, and it's something I'm missing. I believe I might not be missing it. I'm gonna break it down to my memory. All right. Go ahead, read it from the top again.
Verse 19. Start out verse 19 again, out of one.
Go ahead.
I'll take verse 18. Sorry, Baba Kasha. What then, notwithstanding every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ is preached, and I therein do rejoice.
I don't need 19. I'm sorry. Skip down to where your question was.
21.
Read 20. My apologies. 20.
According to my earnest expectation and my hope, that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness, as always, so now also Christ shall be magnified in my body.
Let me explain. What he's saying is he hopes that the men who he has taught don't make him ashamed, that they will keep the things that he's taught, and they will make him proud before the Most High God, because they'll be able to perform their works admirably, and they'll be able to be the kind of examples that Paul wants them to be, so he won't have to be ashamed of them. Everybody understands? Go ahead.
Oh God. As always, so now also Christ shall be magnified in my body.
Christ will be magnified in his body, meaning what? He'll be doing the work of Christ. He'll be out teaching, raising up brothers, helping sisters, and now Christ is magnified in him. Keep going.
Whether it be by life or by death.
Whether it be by life or by death. What's the other side? Maybe he'll be killed for the sake of Christ. All the better. And now either he glorifies Christ because he gets to live the kind of life that is what Christ would want a man to do if Christ was still here. You go out, Christ is gone. He had to leave to pay for our sins. Now, because he's gone, you go out and do the things that he would do. Now that magnifies Christ in you. So now you're out working and teaching and saving the lives of brothers and sisters, or you go and give your life the same way he did, which was possible to Paul because he was in prison and they were trying to kill him. The Sadducee and Pharisee were seeking to kill him and bringing him to court, trying to get him murdered. So he didn't know whether he would glorify Christ because he'd be killed for the truth, or he would glorify Christ because he'd be alive and continuing to work in the truth. That's the point of all of this. All right, continue.
For verse 21, for to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain.
Meaning, if he lives, he's going to do what Christ would want him to do, exalt the kingdom of Christ, raise the kingdom of Christ. And if he dies, he gets on the chariots first, which is what the Bible says. If he dies, my God, that's rank. That's what that would mean. That would mean he gains. So now he died for Christ. That means he gets on the chariots first, and that's in Corinthians. Everybody understands. Continue.
Verse 22, but if I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor. Yet what shall I choose? Yet what I shall choose, I want not.
So yet what I shall choose, I don't want. So the thing I'm going to choose, I don't want. Even though he's going to choose it, it's not the one that he wants. Continue.
23, for I am in a strait betwixt two, having a desire to depart and to be with Christ, which is far better.
Meaning what? What was his desire? To die. But he's not going to choose that. Even though that was his desire, that's not the one he's going to choose. Because he knows the one that he must choose, regardless of what he wants. Continue. And why? Because this was a terrible time for Paul in prison. These are prison letters that he's writing. And they're constantly trying to kill him. And he's going to court fighting for his life in court. Continue.
Verse 24. We in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 24. Nevertheless, to abide in the flesh is more needful for you.
Yeah, everybody understands that. Even though he would like to die, to abide in the flesh is what you need, not what he needs. And think about what that would change with people that commit suicide, right? Do you know that now how many gun deaths are in America every year? The majority of gun deaths are suicides. Someone look that up on your phone and bring it up. The majority, every day people talk about how bad the gun violence is, how terrible the gun violence is. Give me the percentage of deaths with a gun that are caused by suicide. Come on.
It says, health statistics report 38,390 deaths by firearm, of which 24,432 are by suicide.
Did you hear what he just said? Now, all the talk about, we got to stop the violence. We got to stop the gun violence. The gun violence is suicide. I'm going to go over the number one more time. Try to wrap your brain around it with all of the news you watch and how the gangs, you always hear about the gangs. The gangs are killing everybody. The gangs are shooting. This person got shot at the movie theater. This person got shot at the mall. Here's where the shootings come from. Listen carefully. Go ahead.
For the CDC, 38,390 deaths by firearm.
38,390 deaths by firearm. That's the gun violence that everyone is talking about every day on the news. 38,390. Go.
Of which 24,432 by suicide.
Of which 24,000. What's the number that's left? 24,000 and what else? 32 are suicides. Suicide is the problem with gun violence. Suicide. That is the majority, the vast majority of gun deaths are suicides. Come on. She killed herself. That's correct. That's correct. But yet, when you think about gun violence, you think about, getting robbed or shot. Come on, man. Brother, when you get that gun, you're going to use it on yourself. That's what's really going to happen. All right. That's what the numbers say. That's not magic. That's the number.
Right.
Number says that you're going to kill yourself when you get a gun. So how many gun violences are actually, you know, robberies and shootings?
13,958.
13,000. 24,000 of them. What's the percentage? You can do the percentages. What percentage is 24-something thousand of 38,000? I know you know, Naya Fox. Do the math on that thing. He's ready with the math already. Go ahead. God damn, 63%. 63% of all these shootings that I got to hear about every day are suicides. That's your real violence problem, Akim and Agwafians. Depression, misery, sadness. That's the real gun problem.
Right.
Depression. That's the real gun problem. And you know where that comes from? It comes because all you care about is the misery you're in, but you don't care about how miserable we'll be when you're gone. Right. That you don't care about. Because that would make you live. It made Paul live. He would rather die and end all this constantly going to court. Paul was on a shipwreck. He got shipwrecked, had to get on the damn shore from being shipwrecked. They shipping him off to Jerusalem. They're trying to kill him all the time. You know what? Enough was enough of this garbage. He'd rather die. But it was needful of you that he stayed. And so he stayed. And so he stayed. Live for someone else. That's the key. Live for someone else. All right. You had your hand up back in the back. Go ahead. Give him a hand. Yes, sir. That's hell.
Kalaka, sir.
That's hell. All right, we good here, Levi?
Sir.
All right, next.
So, like, sir, I have the video. I have a video of Peter.
Let me get this car in the back first. Go ahead.
Awesome.
Uh-huh. Say it one more time. Make a person look. Yeah.
They feel like to somebody outside of their point of view, looking at them, like they want their life, but they feel like they're like empty, or they say they're kill themselves.
Because their good life is only an appearance.
Right.
It's the appearance of a good life. From the outside, it looks like this. It's not actually like that. You understand? They're sad and miserable and depressed, and they want to die. And many rich people kill themselves. Many. All right. But to you, you look at him and think he's famous. She's famous. They're rich. And they go home to some mansion and cry every night, all the time, because those demons, mansion doors don't keep out demons. You understand? A big, tall gate that keeps out criminals won't keep out a demon. I pray you understand that. Who had their hand up right here? Go ahead. Yeah, but all that training in the military is training to kill yourself. That's all it is. And that's what the numbers say. You get now, that ain't me making something up or trying to talk tough. That's the math. That's what the numbers say. All that training with guns and training with guns, you're going to put it in your mouth. That's what's going to happen. You cops too. All that cop training, you're killing yourself. That's what you're going to do. All right, next.
You want to see it, sir?
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Asher.
You foul spirit of deafness, take your hands off this woman in Jesus' name. Lord, let these ears be open. There it is.
As I get up close, I notice in his ear. There's no ear hole. It's a little piece of plastic in there, and I'm praying. I don't know what's going on.
I said, what's up? He said he's wearing a hearing aid in his left ear. Now, a man who heals the deaf, you wouldn't think would be wearing a hearing aid.
How do I sound now? Loud.
At that point, I realized we needed some technical help. So I enlisted the aid of a private investigator named Alec Jason.
One day, Randy called me and suggested that Peter Popoff was using.
Okay, it's too much echo, but y'all gotta go watch that on your own time. All right. Tell them how to find it. You can go look that up, put it on the class, and share it online. And this was back in the 80s. This cat is still selling that old prayer water. Raise your hand if you bought that prayer water. Let's see this. No, I want to admit to it, huh? Sisters, come on now. Tell everybody you bought that prayer water. Come on now. It's all right. Yeah, we all fall short. Who bought the green prayer? The little green rag. Money rag. Who brought the money rag? Come on, tell us. Come on now. It's all right. Ain't nobody gonna confess. All right, no problem. Oh, man. Because he's still selling that.
Right.
All right. Okay, just watch that online. The brothers will share it. Any other questions?
Council Minnesota also had another question, sir.
Go ahead, Minnesota.
Come on, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
Can't hear you, brother. Let me know if I cross the line, all right? Asher, cross the line is there, right?
Yes, sir.
How long do I have?
Public shot 9:30, sir.
Okay, let's go.
Can you hear me, sir?
Next question.
Minnesota.
Minnesota, let's go.
Yeah, come on, sir. Can you hear me?
Hear you fine.
All right, come on, sir. I'm not sure what happened. Sloppy, sir. There's a question that was asked about Colossians 3:21. And the question was, sir, if I may, is it applying to father only or brothers or sisters also?
Minnesota, I cannot understand anything you're saying. How about you, brothers? Can y'all hear what he's saying?
I think the mic is too close to his mouth, sir.
Okay, so like, is that better?
Okay, go ahead. Try it again.
So a sister had asked, as far as the scripture, Colossians 3:21, is it applying to the father only or brothers and sisters also? That was the sister's question.
Brian, you should work at that. You need me? You should work at that. But I'm in the class. Is it all right? Is it all right?
So, like, John Mahayaman, there's an echo coming from your end. So there's, I think the speaker or something is too close to the mic, and the mic is picking up the words and is replaying the same thing back and forth.
All right, you'll work on it. Okay, I believe you said Minnesota, Colossians 3:8, right?
3:21.
And your question was what again?
Yeah, Khan, sir. The sister had asked, is it only applying to the father or brothers and sisters also in general?
Is it only applying to the father or brothers and sisters also?
I got it, sir.
Let me hear the piece.
This is the book of Colossians chapter 3, verse 21. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged.
Are you asking, is this about brothers and sisters as well as fathers? This precept is about fathers. That's what it's about. It's not about brothers. There are other precepts about how brothers should teach sisters and all of that. This precept is speaking about fathers. Don't provoke your daughters to anger. Is that what it said?
Come on, sir.
All right. How could you provoke your daughter to anger? Right? You can stop molesting her. That might help. Right? So there are 1,000 things you do to your daughter, and your daughter is going to hate you over that. Right? You can stop beating her with extension cords. So many of you beat your wife, beat your kids with extension cords. Why? Because slave masters used a big, long black thing a long time ago to beat black people. And now when you're around your house, you're looking for a whip to beat your kids. And you're not doing it because you're some good parent. You're doing it because you got some sick, twisted thing in your mind that wants to treat your child the way that a slave master treated a slave. What, or else, doesn't a extension cord remind you of something? Right. Come on now. You got to see the similarity, right? And you telling them to get all wet. Y'all was doing that? Tell them to get in the bathtub, get them soaking wet, because you're like you're some type of sick, twisted, filthy thing. And you need to hurt somebody to have pleasure. And you love hurting a child. So you can get pleasure off of hurting this child. And it has nothing to do with raising a child right. You know that for damn sure. Why? Because your mother beat you to death and you still went to jail. Right. What the hell good did that beating do for you? Your mother beat you with every goddamn beat you, burned you with an iron, and you still got high and went to jail. Right. It doesn't work, clearly, right? There's no people that beat their children with extension cords and hammers and irons more than black people, and we still grow up and get high and commit crime. Your daughter's gonna hate you over things like that. Forget about all of the child molestation you're doing. Forget about being a drunk all the time around your daughter crying. Oh, baby, your mama don't love me. Your mama don't love me, baby. Daddy, go to sleep. Baby, you the only one that love me. She's gonna hate you, Ak. You're gonna have to conduct yourself in a way that can make a child proud of you, not pity you and hate you. That's just a few examples, all right? You good to go with that? Anything else?
Yeah, I had a question as well, if you don't mind, sir.
Go ahead, Al.
So some years ago, you did a class, and briefly you spoke about mental disorders and ailments as far as how it's described or looked at in the fourth dimension versus, on Earth. Like, I believe you gave an example of like someone who is paralyzed, how we see them today is they're in a wheelchair and they can't move their legs. But in the fourth dimension, there's like a demon wrapping their body around the legs. If I could, Bob, can you break that down for me? I do want to teach about that in the future.
No problem. Let me give you a few quick precepts. What you're going to need is the precept when the Most High cursed Israel because David numbered the children of Israel. And the Most High sent a plague on the children of Israel. And at the land of Obed, I believe, David went out and saw an angel standing in between the earth and the sky. And the angel had a sword in a sheath. Just like this here, but imagine a full, large sword. And whenever the angel would pull the sword out the sheath, the people would die of the plague. And when the angel would put the sword back in the sheath, the plague would stop. That's the supernatural world. It has an angel pulling out a sword. But the effect in the natural world is people dying of a plague. The sword is going back in. That's the supernatural world. In the physical world, people stop dying of a plague. Also, I'll give you a few more. When Elisha, and his servant, there was a great army set to kill them because they spoke against the false gods. And Elisha's servant was scared. And Elisha said, there are more here with us than be with them. And he prayed to the Most High that the scales be removed from his eyes so he could see. And then his servant began to see in the fourth dimension, a great army was with Elisha that outnumbered the army that was there to kill him. You understand? I'll give you another one. When the Lord rose up Peter to be in charge of the truth, to be the top man in the truth when he left, he said, whatsoever thou bind in earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatsoever thou loose in earth shall be loosed in heaven. So now if you're on earth and you tell this woman that she's free from this addiction and you raise her up and teach her, well, that's what you're doing on earth. But in heaven, the demon who's on her back, who's making her suffer. A long time ago, they used to call drug addiction having a monkey on your back. right? It was called that because it was like the metaphor was this thing on your back and it will not let you go. Well, Peter could get that monkey off your back in the spiritual world, and in the physical world, he helped you fight the demon that had you be a drug addict. And they coincide with each other. Those are a few precepts I just gave you just now. All right? You can look them up on your own time. Next.
So, like I said, we have a lot of questions left, and you also still have to get your topic on redemption.
1 second, Asher. 1 second. Go ahead. Go ahead up.
Remember the story with the donkey, when the donkey saw the angel.
That's right.
And the donkey didn't move. And the prophet was
Beating him. Right. I don't think he was a prophet. I think he was a Nabal. One of them Baal cats, Baalim or something like that. Anyway, he was beating the hell out the donkey because the donkey saw two angels, and the cat started to beat the donkey to death until the donkey talked. Which is dang. Right. You know that's funny. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Arm raiser, people. I can't say that is one in particular that, you know, something is happening in the fourth dimension taking place differently here. The one with hurt not the earth and the sea is one, right? The angels stopping in the fourth dimension, stopping destruction. And here we are alive without being destroyed because an angel is doing something in the fourth dimension. All right. Okay, come on, Asher. I'll try to run your questions down for you. Let's go nice and fast.
So, like I said, there's a bunch of questions left, and you still have to go over redemption.
All right, I might have to do it then. Any ones that you think I should answer?
Dad, you put me on the spot, sir. Officer Malakwov had a question, sir. In Matthew chapter 9, verses 14 and 15, he wants to know, is Christ explaining why his disciples don't have to fast while he's with them? And if so, why was he checking the disciples for not being able to cast out demons in Mark chapter 9, verse 28 and 29?
Okay, that's going to take some time. This is going to be too many precepts I got to break down for it. Ask me again next Thursday, all right? Anything else?
You want to do? We have 10 minutes left, sir. Do you want to do your redemption?
Yeah, let's do it right now. Clap it up. All right, let's get it on. All right. I believe the one I have time for. Someone look up what redemption is. Right? Give me this just a straight up definition of redemption. All right. So then when you go through and you read your precepts, I have a lot of precepts here about redemption. You can go look them up on your own time. All right.
Give
me a definition.
This is the Google definition of redemption: the action of saving or being saved from sin, error, or evil.
Okay, that's them interpreting the Bible, right? But I don't want that one. I just want what redemption is, not the religious definition. Keep going. Give me the next definition.
the action of regaining or gaining possession of something in exchange for payment.
That's the definition. That's it.
Clearing a debt.
That's the definition. Redemption, get rid of the whole religious, all that nonsense. Here's redemption. You owe a debt, and now this person pays your debt, and because of that, now they own you. That's redemption. That's how you got redeemed. If you're in prison and they won't let you out unless you pay $10,000, right? Well, the person that pays the $10,000, they own you now. Now you're theirs. Is that crazy? Have you ever had a bail bondsman? All right. You've heard of them before, right? Well, they go now and they put up that bail and they own you. You can't leave. You can't go out of town, out of state. You got to tell them where you're going because they put up your bond. And now if you're missing, they're going to come knock on your goddamn door and hit you with a paint gun pellet and drag your dumb ass to court. Why? Because they own you. And when the cops come and think it's a kidnapping, they're going to show the cop that you missed court and now you ran on your bail and they're taking you now because they own you because they put up your bond. Well, that's redeeming. This is what's important to understand tonight. All of us are owned by God. He owns us. He sent Christ to pay our debt, and now we are his possession. He owns us. If you wanted your own life and to make your own decisions, then you should have stayed in the world and died of a drug overdose, died in prison. Then that's your life. But if you decide that you think you have some right to live and not be owned by him, you're a fool. Because you have no right to live. You have absolutely no chance, and you shouldn't even expect to live. But if you do expect to live, then you must know where that expectation comes from. It's because he paid your debt. And so now he owns you. And to have that kind of clarity, it frees your mind of so many things, because then you know, well, I don't get to choose whether or not I get high. I might want to get high. I might really like it. I might miss cigarettes. I might think, you know what? Some person told me today. He told me today, he said, sir, well, I don't really agree that smoking weed is really as bad as other drugs. He said, what did he say he was? He said he used some term. He said he was biased for weed. I said, that's called you're addicted to weed. That's what bias is. Right. Now, that's what he thinks about weed. And listen, you're free to think whatever you want about weed, unless you're in the truth. Right. Being in the truth means I surrender what I think about weed, and now I think what God thinks about weed. Look, because someone has redeemed me, right? I'm owned by someone. I could have stayed in jail. Then no one would own me. I could have stayed in prison, but I let him pay my bond. I asked him to pay my bond. I begged him to get me out of jail and pay my bond. He paid it, and now I'm his.
It's lucky, sir.
That's life, warrior. That's how it works. Give me Psalms 80.
It's lucky, sir.
Go ahead, Doc.
This is how I hope so. So like this is also is like that scripture where it says in Deuteronomy 28:68 where it says no man shall buy you, sir.
Yes, correct. No man shall buy you. No one can free you but Christ. That's correct.
You want to start with verse 1?
I'm sorry. Let me go to Psalms 80 and 3.
Come on, it's the book of Psalms, chapter 80, verse 3. Turn us again, O God, and cause thy face to shine.
This is David crying to the Most High when he was in a terrible situation. And so many of you are the same way. When you're in prison, you're begging for someone to get you out, aren't you? Begging for God to save your life, begging for another chance. And then you get the other chance. And then you think you're free to be an alcoholic? You think you're free to get high? You think you're free to choose who you have sex with now? If you stayed in prison, you could have did whatever people in prison do. But you begged for mercy and you received it. Now you don't decide what you do. You don't decide how you live. You've been redeemed. You've been paid for. Continue.
Come. And we shall be saved.
This is him begging. Shine your light on us and we'll be saved. We'll get out of this hell. Help us. Redeem us. Continue.
Come, verse 4. O Lord God of hosts, how long wilt thou be angry against the prayer of thy people?
Oh man, that's us begging him and begging him and begging him. Asking, how long will you be angry with our prayers? Continue.
Come, verse 5. Thou feedest them with the bread of tears.
What does he do?
Feedest them with the bread of tears.
Most High fed us with the bread of tears. That's all we get. Sadness. That's our food. Sadness. And you have to remember it. When you come into the truth, never forget the terror you were in that made you walk through the door. All right? It's a foolish thing to forget that, because you might forget that you don't matter anymore and that someone owns you now. That you can forget that once you're out of prison, right?
Right.
You can forget how you got out. You can be ungrateful of how you get to breathe every day. Don't be ungrateful. Remember that you are owned by someone. Continue.
And givest them tears to drink in great measure.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 6.
Someone else, last one. Give me a paid for with a price. 1 Corinthians. Go ahead. Come on. No, not you. Keep going. Keep reading where you were. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Thou makest us a strife unto our neighbors, and our enemies laugh among themselves.
Our enemies. Thou make us a strife among our neighbors. We're fighting each other, and our enemies sit and laugh at us. That's the state of blacks and Hispanics, man. And you've been chosen to be delivered from that.
That's right.
And now you owe. Nothing is free. Any Hebrew Academy graduates in here from this year? Give yourselves a hand up. You did it, huh? You brothers did it. Well, I don't have to tell you that nothing is free, right?
That's right.
I don't got to tell you. You know. Yeah, you got to pay up. You got to pay. Well, this breath that we're all enjoying in here, right? This breath, and we're up and we're alive. You owe for that.
That's right.
You owe. Everybody understands. With that, pass the class over. Who's getting it? The officer right here. Throughout it.